So I have the absolute privilege and pleasure of finally getting the opportunity to talk to Dr. Giovanni Zucchelli today. We've been chasing each other for a while. I'm going to see you in a little over a week in Madrid at the BEID course with Masa Kagani on April the 11th. Looking forward to it. I've never had the privilege of hearing you speak. I've read your articles. I've seen the stuff on Osteocom and all the various things that you do, the videos and whatnot, but never in person, which I understand is an absolute treat, simply because you are a master at presentation. It's the scarf, I think. I love the scarf. It's very theatrical. It's
Not
fantastic.
there, but it's too hot. Do you want me to wear the
No,
scarf?
no, no, you don't have to wear the
No,
scarf.
because there is that people don't recognize myself, so I'm wearing it.
Oh, okay. So out it comes. There we go. Okay, here we are. That's
Now I am Giovanni Zucchelli again.
Giovanni Zucchelli, Gentleman's Quarterly. I love it. That's too much. That's terrific. So we started off, the first question I asked you when I put all this together was in doing the research on you, it was really striking that you chose to be a dentist because it was the easiest way to be a doctor. Now, my understanding,
No, it's not exactly this.
not true,
No, it's partially true. My father
right?
was very, very famous and good
Okay,
nephrologist, and I didn't study so much during the secondary school. I like to do something else,
you were playing
studying,
football.
playing football or whatever it was, but
Yeah, of
not
course.
studying so much. And so, since at that time it was absolutely true to make medicine and to become a doctor in medicine was very hard.
Right.
Very hard. There was so many to study. And so he said that most probably the only thing of medicine that they could have done is to be a dentist. You know, that for a nephrologist,
Yes.
be a dentist means nothing,
Really?
means nothing. You are a dentist means you can become a doctor, but it's not really a doctor. You
Okay.
know, th- because if you don't want to study, you cannot do anything else than be a dentist. And this was the opinion of most of the medical doctor of that age.
Of that age.
And
But
so it was like a revenge, yeah,
really?
revenge too much, but more or less we can say, it's something to demonstrate to him that it was not true that could have become only a dentist in the old concept of dentistry, in which
Okay.
dentist was only people removing teeth from the patient mouth, but
Exactly.
also a dentist can be a good doctor. Also, a dentist can attend Congress, also a dentist can be successful professor at university, because this was not possible at that time, or was not in his mind. It was
Right.
not possible in his mind, because for him, doctors was just people taking tooth out, but no study, nothing, nothing, nothing. And he was so much surprised when I was studying to attend Congress, to be invited in important Congress. I became professor at the university. And so it was so much surprising for him that despite it was a dentist, he had to admit that also dentists can be a good doctor.
So it's interesting. We were talking before. So I don't know how to say this properly, but it's not, well, you said revenge. That's not there,
Revenge is too much.
too much. It's too
Yeah.
much. But you went at your lifelong scientific passion. It's like it's almost as if you're driven. You're totally like you didn't just do a little bit. You did everything possible to prove the
Mhm,
point. It's
mhm.
really and that was, but from I don't know we call it bad. It's a
You know,
parents want us to be special.
I'm trying to analyze myself with the help of somebody else. And they say that this energy
Yes,
in everything I did most probably come from this attempt to demonstrate him that he was not right.
interesting, interesting, Interesting.
So
And
I don't have the right word in English. It's not really revenge. Revenge is too much. It's try to help me is mm, I don't know. I will think about this word and then I will tell you. Is
they call it, when you talk about in psychotherapy, they talk about it as what they call a childhood of emotional neglect. It's not really neglect. It's the parents' expectations are such there's a challenge to the child without really saying it. And you've
it's a
obviously
challenge.
taken the
The
challenge.
word is challenge. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, it's a
challenge.
challenge.
It's a
Interesting.
challenge. It's a great challenge against him, and unfortunately, he passed away before I became more important,
Right.
more than 10 years ago.
And what would he
And
say to you now, Giovanni? What would he, looking at what,
he passed away.
but
Sorry,
if
it's
he
not.
could, what would you
I
think?
don't know. I don't know. It would be so interesting for me to know. I don't know.
You know
I
what?
think I think he would be proud of myself
He would be, of course he would.
for sure. And maybe you know, maybe he could think that I could have done something more important than become a dentist in
Well,
terms
but
of medicine.
you know,
You know what I mean? You
I,
know what I mean?
I do, but the point is, look what you've
Or
done in your
maybe
field.
he would say, if you are so good with your hands, with your brains, why you have to do it for saving teeth? You should have done for saving people. You know what I mean?
I
This is would
do.
have been this most probably is what he would think today. But
Okay,
this is my
okay,
fault. This is
okay,
something that we decided together in a terrace in Milano Marittima, that is a beach place close to Bologna.
right.
Yeah, it was there. The last year of the secondary school, I have to decide what to do and what to do. I didn't know so much. I will become a lawyer. I will be I will be a doctor. And he said, "Oh, if you want to know something for me, what I think, if I can help you a bit, you can make medicine, but not be a doctor. You can be a dentist."
You're living with this. You're living with this, my friend. But
Challenge is good. Challenge, we can
challenge is
accept
good.
challenge.
Yeah,
Challenge
okay,
is,
we accepted the
and
challenge.
I have always been living with challenge in my life.
Well, you have
Challenges.
there's another situation though. You grew up in Bologna. So it is
Mhm.
home to the oldest university in the Western world. So it's not just like you became a dentist, you have literally built your team, the program, the department at the oldest university in the Western world. Bologna is a center of learning and knowledge. And you grew up there, you studied there. And so the history, the academic culture of your city has affected you. You were saying
Yeah,
before, it has to have affected your personal rigor. I mean, it goes without saying.
absolutely. Yes, I have to tell you that when I was young, the University of Bologna was something that it was so much important,
Yes.
especially in PT, that it was almost impossible for a young guy to think that you would have been professor in this university.
But you
Now I
were a
have to tell you
professor in
that
your early 30s. It's not just you became a
I
professor. You were a professor
yeah,
at 30, what, three?
30, yeah, 24, 25, yeah.
Well, that's in and of itself. So you accepted the challenge.
I
You
accepted the challenge, but I have to tell you that most probably today the image of the university is really changing because everything is changing in this world.
yes,
And so it's not like at that time that it was really an incredible challenge in my life.
but you did so much. Look what you did. You created disciplines and philosophies and techniques and concepts that just literally have outstripped the rest of the world. Everybody comes to you to learn. So
Hmm.
it speaks volumes in terms of it was a crucible for the challenge, right?
Yeah, It's something that I did not only at the university. I think I also did this because I traveled a lot. I
Okay.
had important experience in when I was still young in Gothenburg for my biological background. So I cannot give obviously the all merit to the Bologna University. I think that I did a lot for this university. The university did a lot for me in the past, but I think that my philosophy, my group started at the university and then it really
It
developed
expanded.
and grew and spread all over the world.
Well, I know there are problems today because of I'm in New York right now, so the craziness that's in the United States is affecting a lot of things. But you were in Pennsylvania, you mentioned you were in Sweden, you went to Brazil, which is
I
what?
went everywhere. I went everywhere.
You went
Really.
everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Everywhere in the world. There's no country that I have no lectured. No
So you
country.
built this massive network. I mean, can you think off the top of your head, were there people that you met along the way? Are there anybody that influenced you significantly, that was stimulated you, that gave you?
Speaking about the university, this is something that I have to recognize that my mentor at the university, his name was Professor Calandriello.
Hmm?
He was the teacher of periodontology when I was a student. And this influenced me so much because he was such a charismatic person,
Okay.
well known in Italy, uh, but he was so proud of myself. He was so proud of myself. And I have really to thank him because he really chose me, even if I was very young, even if I was really out of the box also as a young guy. But he chose myself because maybe he thought that I was the good guy to continue his job at the university. And so for sure the university was important at the beginning. At the end, there is another story.
Yeah. But you've used the word out of the box a couple of times. You really, that has been the guiding principle of your career. You don't
Mhm.
follow a path.
Challenge. Always a challenge. No, what
Yeah.
does it mean to be out of the box? It's not to accept what was done in the past as something that should remain as it is.
Right. Right.
Out of the box means try to think if you can do something better with
Right.
respect to what is being stated, what has been established. Because if you only work with the past, if you only work with the evidence,
Right.
which has already been demonstrated in the past, you remain most of the time at this level. While if you want to innovate, you have to try to think out of the box scientifically, in
Right.
a scientific way. So this is needs a lot of job, needs a lot of research, needs especially a lot of biological background because
Okay.
it's not something that you can invent one day, do this different. But this is really very important. I think this is the most important motivation of my life is trying to improve what was done by people in the past that was so much important because
Okay.
they did the background, but we cannot stay there, you know. We have to improve. And I think that in my small micro world, I tried to improve a
And you
bit.
did. So I do have a question. I don't want to get political because that's not appropriate these days, given what's going on in the world. But
And even for me,
I'm looking at you like you were in America. So like there was a period you came up in what would have been the golden era of perio at Pennsylvania. That was Jay Sebring, D. Walter Cohen, all of the people that were sort of setting the stages in that day. But do you feel that the world was an easier place to gain growth and acceptance in those days than it is today?
meritocratically,
Yes,
yes.
meritocratically, yes,
Yes, no doubt.
no doubt. Interesting.
No.
And today, not
Now,
so much.
now I don't think it's the same, you know.
Really?
I think that so many university had to change policy.
Uh-huh.
I, I was attending also Michigan University, which is a very important
Sure,
university in
sure.
dentistry. I was many times in Harvard, But you know, everything is changing in the last years. And I have to tell you that I don't know. I hope that this trend will, you know, will stop a bit, but I don't know. I really am not living there, so I cannot say nothing. But for sure, I have been always considering United States of America as the country where if you are good, you can emerge.
You can emerge. Interesting. And Italy is the same or it's changing?
Not the-
It's
It's
not the
not the
same
same.
anymore. Wow.
Or anymore, I don't know. It's not the same. Stop here. It's not the same. I have to tell you, it's not the same.
Interesting. Interesting. The one thing I noticed in all of this is that your comment early on was that you had to read your exam papers to your professors. Your handwriting was so poor. I mean, I don't know. I found that in a note somewhere. Is that correct, or is that just there was sort of like it was they thought that you had the what I found. I don't know if it was accurate or not. It said that you were very atraditional, almost rebellious in your start. You had your whole perspective on problem solving, how you dealt with things was different. It took a while for your professors, your mentor, to understand your way of thinking. Was that the out of the box approach to things?
I think that the mentors I had, I was mentioning before Professor Calandrello, and after him, Massimo De Santis, maybe you know him.
Massimo, yes, yes.
Massimo was a mentor of mine,
Was he?
made me completely free,
Okay.
free to do whatever I like. So they gave me the possibility to think, to change with them my idea, to share with them my idea, and they give me really a great space, which is very rare for, for bosses, for people high level to leave the youngster to emerge, you
Right.
know?
Interesting.
And so even if they both of them were considering me a bit strange guy, a bit out of the box,
Okay.
but they loved me. They really loved me.
Interesting. What's it like when you sit down with Massimo and Tony Scullion and people like that,
Mhm.
Luca? What's it like when you guys are just sitting around having a quiet time together, a drink, just talking about, I mean, forgetting all the science and what's it like with you guys to talk? I would be curious to be a fly on the wall to watch.
No, it depends from the persons. For example, with Tony, I'm a big friend of Tony, big
Mhm.
friend of Tony. It's a guy that we speak about everything, and we are French. We are friends. We are friends so many years, and he's a person that he see very, very long what is going to happen in the future, and is it's a friend of mine, and we think very, very similar in many, many aspects, not only of the scientific, but also of the world, of the
Of the
life.
world, yes.
Luca is another guy. He's
Yeah.
younger than us.
You're lecturing with him now. You like him a lot.
I absolutely like him a lot. I absolutely consider him the future of this field in
Really?
augmentation. He's an incredible talent with a great biological background, and he's also a great guy, a person that you can go for dinner and you are enjoying so much speaking about everything, not football because it thinks different from me, but okay, we can speak about everything. It's
Everything.
two great guys. Both of them are great friend of mine. Different age, but great friend of mine. I'm not so many friends, you know. You just choose two names, and by luck,
Yeah.
it's two great friends of mine.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, the approach as well, I have to, like, I know that you've always talked about plastic surgery rather than periodontal surgery. And the way it sifts down or the way it distills down is, I think the one take-home message that I get in looking at your work, your papers, hearing you speak, is you have made you define the difference between a functional success and an aesthetic masterpiece. It's like
Because
when,
this is another challenge.
yes,
If you consider periodontal therapy, you
yes,
know, periodontal therapy is not strictly connected to aesthetic satisfaction for the patient. If you consider how we can get rid of a pocket in periodontal disease,
Right.
most of the time we create recession so that the patient can clean much better. But the patient is not really happy
No.
about this session, you know? And so this is the traditional periodontal therapy that has been working and still working so well that we can save teeth. But my goal, my idea, my dream, my challenge is why cannot we try in the future to get rid of the pocket by regenerating instead of resective
Right. Right.
pocket? So it's again, I'm not thinking that function is not important. I think that is it possible to combine function and aesthetics? Because in my way of thinking, something that is very nice, yeah, very nice. I mean, it's also pleasant. It's something that the patient is very, very happy for. Why should not work? It should
Right.
also good functionally. Why what we have solved for sure in the past is that functionally this is good and sometimes it's not acceptable so good from aesthetic. And my goal is to make as much as possible periodontal therapy also more satisfactory for our patient in terms of aesthetic appearance, if you want to call it.
Interesting.
But I don't want people say that I am a mucogingivologist, you know, because
Okay.
this is something that some people say that I only make mucogingival surgery for aesthetic, which is not true. Which
Okay.
is not true. Now I treat 50% of my profession is treatment of implants with bad aesthetic,
Of
with
course. Of
failure.
course.
I place implants so much, but I like to put my knowledge that I achieve in perio also in implant therapy, because in implant therapy, patient is expecting not only functional outcome,
Right.
patient is also expecting something that is good, something that is nice. I mean, while for periodontal disease, still people say, okay, I have periodontitis, I accept to have bad teeth, but they are healthy.
You're healthy.
When
Yeah.
you're thinking about implants, it's different. You
It's
know, if
very
you put
different.
implants and people don't see and see that they are not nice at all, people is not happy at all.
No,
And
no.
in this world, I think that there is a lot we can do as a periodontist, also to improve together with the function, also the aesthetics.
So I have a question for you. You mentioned that you're very good friends with Tony Scullion. So Tony does a lot of work with Mazie Eliezer Schatz, with Egli Ramanuskauta. They're working with high hyaluronic acid. This is the Regadent. What's your philosophy on that? Do you feel it? Because I know it
I
has
think that
a merit
I
for
think, yeah, yeah, I think that everything that can help biology, it's indicated to be used. And
you.
for
Okay.
sure, hyaluronic acid has many, many capability to promote, accelerate the healing. And so it's something that we have to work a lot on this, you know. We are just at the beginning.
Yes.
But I think it's a very, very nice field to follow because it follows the biological way of healing. It's not something that is going against the healing. And it's
That,
and the biology has tried to find a compromise to heal
yeah.
despite the presence of something that makes the healing more complex. This is the opposite. This is something that can improve the healing, the biological healing, without adding nothing.
Well, this brings me to that was actually a lead to a question that I think makes the most sense. One of the things that stands out in when I hear you speak, I mean, I'm an endodontist by background, so for me, surgery is not this specific. But when you speak, you always talk about working the tissue, not forcing it. So you have a very
This is
distinct,
biology, you know.
this is but your concept is very different.
This is biology, you know. If you consider biology, make everything here, not everything, and everything, unfortunately, there is big problems when you have a tumor or something like this, biology is not enough.
Right.
But if you're biologically driven, I think that the healing will come by itself. So what we have to understand is how tissue heals, and then to help this tissue to heal in the best way following the biological principle. While sometimes, especially with the use of too much biomaterials,
Right.
we are getting against the capability of the tissue to heal spontaneously, you know? That's why I like so much the soft tissue, because in the soft tissue, the healing
Right.
is not influenced by anything else than the how you manage the soft tissue, and why not in the future also something that you can apply in the tissue that can accelerate the healing. But the soft tissue healing, it's something that belongs only to the biology.
So
If you don't disturb it, if you don't
if
disturb
you don't
it.
disturb it. So I have a question. I have to be very careful asking this question because I don't want to cause a problem for you. But do you feel that too many of your colleagues are prioritizing the technology over the biologic principles? And is this a commercially driven phenomenon? Is this because of the companies and the support and the scales of economy and all the things that go on in the world today? You're a purist. And I said to you when we started to talk, to me, you're a poet philosopher. I love when I hear comments you make. And what you just said to me is an indication that you see things truly that it is God's gift, the biology, the human growth factors that are there that work. So do you feel that your colleagues are spending too much time looking at the technology?
I'm not, I don't speak about colleague. I speak about research.
Okay.
I think that the research has spent most probably too much time in finding something that by itself solve everything,
Okay.
regenerate
Fair enough.
everything, that we know it's impossible. You know, it's
Okay.
impossible. It's not the biomaterial that will make the bone heal. It's not the biomaterial that will make the soft tissue heal. It's not the, and this obviously was pushed mainly by the company, and obviously the people making research needs to work with the company, and this is also something that influence for sure the work of some colleagues of mine that I have great respect for them, but for sure it's not my
It's not your
first
fault. No,
no.
no, it's obvious. And in watching your work, it's just very apparent that this is not what drives you. It's fascinating. I mean,
Yeah, my goal is to understand how something can heal, because
but
I'm sure that if you put the tissue in the condition, in the
yeah,
right condition, they
yeah,
heal by themselves.
yes, yes,
Heal by themselves. What you have to do is how can we put the tissue in the condition to heal perfectly, or
right.
at least in a good way? And this is a challenge also. And but I don't feel that it's really the adjunct of the biomaterial that will make this heal better. It's the opposite, you know.
Interesting. So you teach globally, like you are literally on a plane every Monday and Tuesday, or have been for a very large part of your life. I assume that you must be like get free flights on Alitalia or Tatalia or whatever it is these days.
Yeah, not
In
so much.
all of these, you know, what you wish, huh? In all of these courses that you give, and you've given like thousands. Can you read an audience at this point in your life? Can you look at your students? Can you see the people in the course? Do you see when what you bring that is so different from others? Is there a light bulb moment when you're talking to them? Do you have you recognized when they suddenly go, I understand him. I understand what he's saying.
Yeah, this is something that's why some people say that I have a bad character, you know, because
You have a
sometimes
bad character?
this
You?
is what this is what people say.
Wow.
But because during the courses, I really feel sometimes that people is not following me.
Okay.
I really get upset for this.
Really? Okay.
I really want people understand. And obviously, it's not possible that 100%
No.
of people understand. But if I go home and I have the feeling that, let's say, at least 10% understood what I said, it's a failure. And for
Okay.
this, I get upset. And if I get upset, I become bad character.
Well, okay, but
Because I try to give my best
yes,
always. because it's if there is another guy in the world that I understand what I do,
Mhm.
and he also does in the right way, it's also success for me, you know.
Right,
We are growing, and the more we can spread this way of thinking, it's very important for me, you know. It's a success also of myself, and
right,
I personally believe also for my patient. And so when I'm not succeeding in this way, and I frequently, especially when you make very, very short courses, you know, 2 hours, 1 hour and a half, what you can
right,
give
right.
people in 2 hours. And so maybe I make this, which is a show that is completely useless for people. It's a show.
Yes,
It's a show for like to go to the cinema, you know, just to see the show. But for these people, this is completely useless. And this is something that I don't like.
it upsets you. But that's your father's challenge to you.
Next,
It's your
next.
father's challenge was to be better and to do more, which is fascinating. Which brings up the obvious question. When you're not in a clinic and when you're not lecturing, what fuels your creativity? Even if it's downtime. Is it how much you love football, even though I know Bologna just
Yeah,
lost?
yeah. You know, I have only one big passion. That is my football team, football in general.
Yes,
I love football, soccer. I mean, soccer,
yes,
yes. Whatever type of soccer I look, but my football team is a passion. And
really.
whenever you have passion, it means also suffer a lot, because
Okay.
this is not such a great team. So my life is suffering for Bologna's football team. I have to tell you that only thing that I'm really, really close, the most important reason why I still feel close to this city, despite so many problems we have in this city and despite so many problems I had in this city, is Bologna football team. I cannot leave Bologna because of Bologna football
Because
team.
of the football team. Okay. Okay. Italy has changed dramatically in the last well, it's always been changing, but it seems to have radically changed in the last 10 years.
What do you mean? Which type of change? Getting
Politically,
worse.
politically,
No, I don't want to say anything about politics,
okay, fair
but
enough.
I can tell you that life is terribly getting worse.
Is it? So is this the change in Italian culture? Like what is changing?
Maybe
Like,
it's a general problem. I cannot say it's only in Italy, but safety is not the same at
okay,
all. Also, how this was the city of the university where young people, you can find young people even late in the night, drinking, smiling, speaking. Now it's not the same
that's the
anymore.
same. And do you see
No.
this in other countries as well? Are you getting that
In
same sense?
Spain, it's much better.
Spain is
It's much,
better.
much
Well,
better.
it's a good thing we're going to Madrid
I
next
think
week.
I think that I will go to Madrid, I will stay there. If somebody asks me to stay, I will stay there. Because for sure, the country, I like to go much more now because of the atmosphere,
Yeah.
because of the positiveness of people
Really?
is
Isn't that
we were
interesting?
at the same level, you know, or more probably we were in higher level in Spain in the last 10 years. Now they are much better. They are much better because they live better. The atmosphere, how people is positive, how people wants to live better.
Really?
I have to say, Spain is it's a country that I love so much because I see so many young people that it's so many much motivated, not only in dentistry. You know, when you meet people in the wherever,
Yes.
they're
It's different.
positive.
Will you
It's
see
not,
Mariano Sanz when you go? Will you have time?
you know, when we speak about Spain, we cannot speak about Mariano. What Mariano did for Spain in particular, but for dentistry in the all over the world is
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely unique. And I think that the old people coming from the Mariano school It's the most motivated
Wow.
young people I've never met in my life. Also, the new generation,
Wow. The contrast.
most of the youngest people that is growing so much
Interesting.
in the last years is coming from the Mariano School.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's quite the compliment for somebody to extend to a colleague. That's beautiful. I hate to go
Really
back to
deserve
dentistry.
it.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No,
I
I mean, they really deserve it. It's not something that I say, it's something that everybody says.
Everybody says. Yeah, he's unique, totally. And I hate to go back to dentistry. I just realized I missed something that I thought was really important before. I jumped the gun here. I apologize. You talk about the nightmare of the papilla, right? When I said to you earlier on, I said you're very literary. You kind of looked at me like, well, I don't know how many people describe the nightmare of the papilla. It's like something out of Edgar Allan Poe. You call the peri-implant papilla reconstruction a nightmare. And it's really, I think if anybody was to say, what do you know about Giovanni Zucchelli, they would say, oh, his ability to deal with peri-implantitis and reconstruct. That's become your, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for? You are the guru, I guess, of reconstructing papillae that have been destroyed by peri-implantitis. Are we any closer to figuring it out? Is there a biologic solution that you think is
I,
possible?
I think I think that what I can tell you, this was another challenge because at the beginning it seems that the possibility to have a papilla, peri-implant papilla, was depending mainly on bone reconstruction, you know?
Right.
While if you consider, at least from a biological point of view, the papilla is made of soft tissue, it's not made of bone, it's made of soft tissue above the bone. And for sure, there is the possibility by increasing the tissue to increase the papilla, leaving the bone at the same level. And this is it's really a big change. It's a
Right.
big change compared to the old concept that the only way to improve the papilla was by working with the bone.
Right.
Now I think that everybody believes that in order to provide papilla around the implant, you have to work with the soft tissue. So it's not a nightmare anymore
Okay.
because now we know quite well how to work in order to improve the papilla. It's very difficult.
Interesting. So as I came, I mean, in the research that I did, you're a purist in the strongest sense of the word. It's the ultimate compliment. You're a purist. And I have to wonder how the change from analog to digital is affecting people who see their craft as in a purist sense, which means, are we going to lose our, what's the word? Tactile artistry, which is the defining of the true clinician is an artist. His tactile artistry is amazing. Are we going to lose this because of digital technologies?
I think that I have to split this answer in two. I
Okay.
think that digital technology today is necessary,
Okay.
is the option, is necessary. Because with digital technology, you can place the implant in the perfect position. You don't need to have such an incredible amount of bone as we thought in the past to place an implant, because if you place the implant by hands, you need enormous amount of bone because your hands, whatever, even if they are good,
Sure.
cannot be as precise as if you use digital tools to apply your implant. That's an example, I mean. So we cannot say that nothing has changed. I think that the digital technology helped us to work much better, less traumatic, more precisely, and this is something that everybody has to do. There
Okay.
is no reason today not to work with the technology anymore. The second part of the answer is technology, digital or AI, artificial intelligence, will never be able to elevate the papilla split thickness,
Okay.
So when there is something concerning the surgery, which is really handmade. and there is no technology that, let's say, it's impossible to say never, but I don't see how I can teach somebody else to elevate the papilla, because every single time I elevate in different way because of difference in the thickness of the tissue, thickness of the patient, objective of the surgery. How can I teach everything?
Right.
So if maybe technology will help me to keep my hands a bit firmer, I don't know, more stable, but how to insert the blade into the tissue, which inclination is something that I have to teach,
Right.
And so I think it takes longer time to teach somebody else to do something that you can do in 1 second, how to place the blade in this tissue. So I think that in my field, technology, in terms of soft tissue management, that is my main field, did not change so much
Okay.
of
Fair
the
enough.
approach. And I think that we have to work a lot with our hands, with our brain, studying, knowing the biological principle, and also the experience helps you so much. And I don't have any true advantage by the technology in the way I elevate the flap, in the way I mobilize the flap, in the way I suture the flap. So
Right.
we are zero from this point of view. But if you are speaking about something that it's something that you can control, how to place an implant,
Hmm.
how can you not do it technologically,
Yes.
that you can place it perfectly
Hmm.
where the bone, no need to augment the bone. So you can place exactly where prosthetically it has to be placed. So there is billions of advantage. So I'm using technology a lot.
A lot.
More for implant, less for perio.
Interesting. Interesting. So there's a
You
change in
know
the
that
legacy.
I was also asked to teach AI to make
Okay.
surgery.
Okay. Interesting.
This is something that I was asking. It's a project that I'm trying to explore in the future,
Okay.
if it's possible to teach artificial intelligence what I think before taking the blade and making the incision.
So I didn't that wasn't one of the questions, but I do have a question for you, given your sophistication. Can artificial like suturing is the true artistry, or one of the true artistries other than the blade? Like people who know how to suture make a difference. Can artificial intelligence help you plan suturing better? The actual physical? No, can't do it.
I have to teach them.
You
I
have to
have to teach I don't know, she, what is artificial intelligence? Is it
it's
female? It's
it's
a female? Okay. I have to
could be
teach her.
that'd be nice. You
I
can't you
have to,
have to teach it.
and maybe for people with less experience,
Yeah,
artificial intelligence will be useful
right.
in order to understand what I do. But
Okay.
I think
Okay.
somebody has to teach this girl artificial intelligence how to do it. And who can teach her? Who can teach her? Where do you place the surgical knot when you place the suture?
Right.
It's something that you have to teach to
Yeah.
artificial intelligence. So, speaking about big numbers, most probably in the future, this will be useful,
Useful
but
in
it
the future.
takes time.
Yep.
Who works on AI say not so much, but I believe it takes a lot of time because artificial intelligence has to get whatever I have in my mind for
Right.
soft tissue surgery, what Luca De Stavola has in his mind for bone augmentation, what Sculian has in his mind for the tunnel technique,
Right.
and then try to give the right answer for the different technique, different indication. So maybe in the future it's possible, but we are still very, very far from there.
We're far from
So
there. Well,
I
let's
think
talk about the
it's
future.
easier now to to follow the indication by the experienced clinicians.
Exactly. Artificial intelligence will never have experience. You may be able to fill it up with data, but experience is
Another
an
story.
ephemeral concept.
Yeah.
We talked about future. I had a question. I'm going to change it, okay? Because I know you understand the need for legacy. It's part of it. It's what drives you. But I'm going to change the question a little bit as I've gotten to know you. So I'm going to make this a little different. if 10 or 15 years from now, you and I are standing in a corner somewhere and we happen to listen to a group of students who have heard you speak and they're talking about your lecture, what would you want them to say if we're overhearing what they have to say? How would you want them to have understood your messaging, the messaging of your lifetime, which is now 40 years in a profession? Let's say you're 60 in 10 years. Okay, you are truly your life is changing. You're not going to be at Bologna in Bologna as much. You're going to be the next 10 years in your life are going to be radically altered because things are restructuring themselves. If you heard a bunch of people talking, what's the messaging you want them to have walked away with when you give a presentation or a lecture? How do you want them to feel?
I don't understand exactly your question. So, what is the message I would like to share?
It's not so much the message there, it's the message and the impact is the question. It's not about, I don't want to talk about your legacy. Your legacy has been established. You will always
Mhm.
be the supreme individual with regard to soft tissue and periodontology. But there's a part of you that I'm sensing, and I've gotten just in a little bit of time, I've gotten to know you. There's a very strong personal need. There's a sense, this is a mission for you. This goes beyond the challenge. This isn't even a passion, it's a mission. How would,
Mhm.
if we happen to hear people, he would given a lecture and people were talking about your lecture and about you and your messaging and what you delivered and how it affected them. What would you want that to sound like?
Mm, uh, if I have to, if I have to think about how to tell them about myself, you
Yes.
mean?
But what's about how you got to be where you are? What drove you? What brought you to this point? What's carried you on for 50 years at such an incredible level of energy and commitment, passion to your craft? It goes
We,
beyond legacy.
no, but it's something that I don't like so much.
You don't like
That's
it.
why, no, I mean, that's why I don't know what to say because the key word that have driven me so much, unfortunately, is challenge. Yes, this
Yes,
is what I said before. And it is because of the continuous attempt to challenge myself, to improve myself,
yes.
and to get something better that most probably I reach this outcome. But, and never believe 100% in what people tells you. What people tells you it's something that you have to study, that you have to understand, but then you have to try that it really works.
Okay.
And then next step is, can I do something better than this?
Wow. Okay.
Okay. This is, what I did. Study biology first, background from the literature, try if it's what is written is really working, and then asking myself, can we do something much better? Can we make something better than this in the future? But this is not a suggestion I would like to give to youngsters to live the whole life in this way.
Interesting. So I'm gonna,
There is a price
there's
that
a
I
price
don't
to be
know
paid.
to be paid that I don't know if it really makes sense to pay. That's why I don't want to give this as a suggestion. It's just to give you what I did in my life. I tried to understand biology, and this is the things that is stimulating me much more to understand much more. Who speaks about biology in all fields, not only in dentistry? It's something that attracts me so much, because the biology is the starting point, it's not the literature, the starting point.
Hmm.
The starting point is to understand the biological principle, because with no biological principle, you cannot understand the literature, or at least understanding the biological literature, you can skip. many of the articles which is not biologically based. So you don't have to work so much. Then you have to know the literature. Once you know the literature, you have the biological base, you have to try yourself with your team, with your mentor, that what is written is really working, and this is not enough. This is not the end of the story.
You're
The
never
end of
going
the
to stop
story.
struggling, are you?
Oh, no, no. The end of the story is that I have to try to make something that is working much better.
But you're when we sit down on Saturday night after your lecture and have a glass of wine, we're going to talk about the psychology of struggling. You have achieved so much, you have given so much, you've done so much, and yet you're still struggling to do more. It really it speaks on so many different levels to who you are. But at some point, the struggle it needs to change a little bit. You're hard on yourself. And that's why you've done what you've done, which is amazing, but you're hard on yourself. And
Absolutely, yes. That's why I could not suggest to anybody to do what I did if they don't feel this need. Because if they
okay.
feel this need from the beginning, there's no alternative, you know. You have to do like this. I'm never happy of what I do. I always to do something better. And when something goes wrong, I'm very, very disappointed.
Well, but
Very.
you've created magic for a lot of people. You've made their lives easier, better, their patients' lives better, which is
This is
really
something that is very important for me, you know.
absolutely
This is something I want to say. This is something I want to say. I started to make research at the beginning to make a career. Then I stopped very, very early. Then I always did my research to improve the patient
improve the
satisfaction.
patient. Well, there's your legacy.
That's myself.
There's your
I
legacy.
think the true objective of our life is to make people stay much better, you know.
Good for you. Well, we're going to have a lot of fun in Madrid. Okay. That's going to be interesting. I know you're also going to Szeged this year. Are you going to Szeged as well? With Luca. Is Luca going to be there as well? I don't know.
Maybe yes.
I think so.
I
Yeah.
have the workshop and the congress also.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Good for you. So that's good. So that's Dr. Nagy and Masa. They're best friends. So they've got you coming to Madrid and then you're going to Szeged. It's all very exciting. I want to thank you for doing this because for me, it was a revelation. As I say, people know you. Everybody's got a perspective. And in the little bit of the conversation that we had prior to this and this, um, I'm gonna leave this with one simple statement, and please take it from my heart. Giovanni, I want you to be kind to yourself. Okay? Be kind to yourself. You deserve it. You deserve it for what you've done, what you've contributed. Please be kind to yourself. Okay? And with that, I'm going to say ciao,
Thank you.
and
Thank you so much.
I will see you soon. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much. Okay? You have a
Ciao.
wonderful
Ciao.
day. Thank you so
Ciao.
much. You be well. Be well,
Bye-bye.
my friend. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.